So this is IELTS Writing Task 2. We know that we have 40 minutes to write an essay. So it can be an argumentative essay or an opinion essay, and we have to write at least 250 words. So this essay that I am going to check right now, it has 250 words. So I recommend you to write more than that. I recommend you to write about 300 words. That's the goal. So you can write more but not below 250 words. Okay, so if you want a good band, then you cannot write less than 250 words. So yes, this is 250 words. So yeah, let's start. The question is, some people regard eating meat as completely wrong. To what extent do you agree? So here we do not actually have to completely agree or completely disagree. You do not have to say that yes, I completely agree that eating meat is completely wrong, that nobody should eat meat. You don't have to say that. And again, you don't have to say that no, eating meat is completely okay. Anyone who says eating meat is wrong, they are actually wrong. So you do not have to say that either. You can take a middle ground. Okay, so let's see what this participant did, this candidate did. So there are people around us that finds eating meat as complete wrong. Okay, so there are a few basic grammatical mistakes here. I think that this candidate was just careless about it, because I have seen her writing and she is a good writer. So this of course it will be fine, because the subject is people. It will be fine. Eating meat and as completely wrong. So it will be completely. I'll just make it red for the time being so that I can show her what's wrong. However, I do not completely agree with this. So here she is specifying her stance, that she doesn't completely agree to this statement. Okay, so this is good that she is clarifying what her stance is from the very beginning. This is because meat is considered as a high source of protein, which is very essential for our body. So again, there is a careless mistake here. It should be our body. But as far as the introduction goes, this is good. This is a good introduction because it's not long, but it gets the job done. It paraphrases the prompt of the question, that some people regard eating meat as completely wrong. So she paraphrased it like this: there are people around us that find eating meat as completely wrong. So this is a good paraphrase of this first sentence. So we should do this. And then she gives her opinion. And then she gives a main reason for why she thinks that it's not a complete, like she doesn't completely agree with this statement. Next, in the body paragraph, first body paragraph, moreover, meat is a very important part of our everyday meal or diet because it gives us energy. Okay, so in the very beginning body paragraph, I would not recommend starting with moreover, because when we say moreover, we say this, that we are adding another point. But our introduction is just an introduction, right? It should only give us an overview of the entire writing. So this should not be the first point. Like if you think that this is your first point, that meat is considered as a high source of protein, as it is very essential for our body, so this is the first point, and then the second point is this one. So this is not a good strategy, because you shouldn't just put one point in your introduction and then not explain it afterwards. So this is just an overview. This is most probably the most important point of her argument. So that's why she said this in her overview in the introduction. But she cannot start the next paragraph, the first main body paragraph, with moreovers. She should start with first of all or firstly. Okay, so primarily I'll just write first of all here, and there is an extra space here which I'm cutting. First of all, meat is a very important part of our everyday meal or diet because it gives us energy. It gives our body strength whenever we feel weak. For instance, I eat boiled chicken. Okay, so this is important. So I missed reading this before. Give reasons for your answer and include any relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience. Okay, so it's very important that you give your personal examples. You shouldn't just say that people do this, people do that, people should do this, not do that. So you should give personalized examples like this. So this is very good. For instance, I eat boiled chicken after workout every day because it boosts up my energy. Okay, so this is a good sentence, but some slight grammatical mistakes are that after workout every day. So whenever we use a noun in the English language, we use the plural word, okay, the plural form, when after workouts every day. Or if you want to make it a singular, then you have to add an article, a and the. So here, a workout every day. And the word everyday, it's when we write it together, everyday, it's an adjective, like the everyday struggle, okay, everyday grind, everyday studies. But when we write it like I do something every day, it's actually two words, every day, because it boosts up my energy. So you don't have to write up after the word boosts. Alright, so it boosts my energy. Besides, so this is a good transition marker. First she says for instance, or for example you can say, and then afterwards she says besides. So this is a good transition marker. I also eat chicken soup. Okay, so yes, I know that soup, it's not entirely liquid, but you shouldn't say I eat. So whenever we say eat, we normally mean that we bite into it, we chew it. So yes, chicken soup, some things in the soup can be chewed, but we shouldn't say eat any soup. I also consume, or I also have. Consume is a good word. I also consume. Let me redden it. Chicken soup when I am sick, because it helps me to gain back my strength. So this is a very good word choice, gain back my strength, or find my strength again, or rejuvenate, you can say. So here she is talking about how important meat is. Whenever we eat meat, it gives us a lot of energy, especially after a workout, because we know that muscles are built by protein, right? So meat is a very good source of protein. Vegans and vegetarians, yes, they also have sources of protein, but meat is a very convenient way to get protein. If you're a vegetarian, if you're a vegan, then you might have trouble getting some protein, but it's also not impossible. So anyway, furthermore, even dietitians and doctors suggest us to eat boiled meat when we feel weak. Alright, so this is a good strategy that she used. She used a reputable source, dietitians and doctors. So whenever we say that something like I think this should happen, I think this, I do not like meat, or I like meat, so it doesn't add a lot of credibility. But when we say that dietitians and doctors and scientists and scholars, so there is a lot of weight to it. So this is actually an ethical appeal. So this is good. And she also used personal examples too, which I said is also important, because it is mentioned in the prompt that we have to write relevant examples from your own knowledge and experience. Okay, so this is a very good paragraph. Nonetheless, there is an extra space here. There are some side effects to consuming meat. So she wrote the word consume, this is good, on a daily basis. So this is also a very good word choice, in large proportion. So again, since in the English language we use plurals, we use plural nouns, it will be large proportions. Everything else is fine. For example, so here she wrote, for instance, here she is writing for example. So this is very good. Eating too much red meat, like beef meat. Okay, so you don't actually have to capitalize this. Beef meat or ox meat. Let me just make it smaller. Or ox meat can lead to high blood pressure. Moreover, so yes, here you can use moreover or furthermore, additionally, in addition. So this is okay, but not in the very beginning of the main paragraph. Moreover, having too much beef curry can increase our cholesterols. Okay, so even though I just said that in English we have to write plural, but here this word, normally we say cholesterol, we do not say cholesterols. Okay, so this is a we do not say poetries, like I like poetry, not I like poetries. So this is another thing like that. You cannot write, there is no such thing as cholesterols. This is a collective noun, you can say. On the other hand, there are vegan people that are, so normally when we write people, we shouldn't write that, even though it's not completely wrong, but I suggest writing who are completely against meat, because they think killing an animal, it should be, not as animal, killing an animal just for consumption of their meat is highly wrong. Okay, so this is also a very good point, that vegan people, many of them actually think about the moral consequences of meat consumption, of killing animals, and not only killing animals, but the way that butcheries work, abattoirs. So they are not actually very humanitarian ways, animal friendly ways to breed animals and then to sacrifice them, like animals, there is a lot of animal cruelty in there, right? So this is a good point, but I suggest replacing highly with morally, because highly, the word highly, it's not that much formal, and also the word moral, it should be there, or ethically, morally or ethically wrong. Let me also write it. Therefore, in that sense, for vegan people, okay, so she wrote vegan people twice. I don't like the term vegan people. You can just write vegans. For vegans, one time writing vegan people is okay, but I don't like repetition. So therefore, in that sense, for vegans, eating meat is completely wrong. Okay, people like them only believe in having plant-based meals every day. Yes, this is true, and also non-dairy products, right? So vegans also do not eat anything produced by animals, like cows produce milk, so chickens produce eggs. To sum up, eating meat is not completely wrong in my opinion. Meat contains fibers and proteins that are very important for our body. Hence, I do not agree to the fact that eating meat is completely wrong. Okay, so this is a fine paragraph, but I would suggest making it even better by going back to the question. So it didn't just say that pick a side and then argue your point. So she chose the side that eating meat is not completely wrong, and then her conclusion looks like that, like she is acknowledging that there are advantages of people, like there are good points, good arguments for people who think that eating meat is completely wrong. But in her opinion, it's not true. She doesn't agree. Like, yes, it may be true, but she doesn't agree that we shouldn't eat meat at all, that it is completely wrong. But the question says, to what extent? So we do not have to be on the 100% agreement or the 100% disagreement side, right? So you can say that she probably agrees 80% or 70% to the opinion that eating meat is fine, or she disagrees 82% or 80%, 70%, 90% that eating meat is completely wrong. So here she should specify that. To sum up, eating meat is not completely wrong in my opinion, despite questionable or despite various questionable or various consequences and concerns of eating. And since she already wrote eating meat here, I'll just say consuming meat. Okay, so this makes it a more balanced statement, and it is also more holistic, because the concluding paragraph should always be a wrap up, and not only a wrap up, it should also encapsulate what you wrote throughout your essay. Meat contains fibers and proteins that are very important for our body. Hence, I do not agree to the fact that eating meat is completely wrong. So this is okay. She's reiterating her statement, but I think that there is a bit of repetition. She wrote completely wrong here, and again completely wrong here. So you can say that eating meat is entirely wrong or entirely problematic, right? Yes. So yeah, I liked this essay. I think it's better than the task 1 essay that I read a little bit earlier. As you can see, the problems I had with this essay are minor. It's about little things like encapsulating, summarizing in the conclusion, and then some word choices, and then some careless grammatical mistakes. But overall, I really liked this essay.